Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video, doing JMA Friday for today's second video. So it's on a Friday, we have a look at the weather for the month ahead with the Japanese and CFS V2 models, and it's going to take us into the beginning of November. I shall get on back for you very shortly. Just say that the first video release today was our 7 AM forecast. We've got a 10 to 14 day with more regular features coming up for you later on this afternoon. And then we're going to be live streaming after 10 o'clock tonight, so we'll have our Friday night live stream, and I shall see you then. Please like, share, subscribe on all our videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Hope you're having a lovely Friday as well. Right, here we go then. We're going to begin with the JMA 500 millibar height anomaly flowchart from the North Pole and Arctic view down. So this is the North Pole of the Arctic Circle just here. And we've got wider Arctic around there, and then mid latitudes around here. So blue is extrapolating to below average heights, which is low pressure, yellow, orange and red to above average heights, which is high pressure. These are broken down into week periods, and the first week period is going to take us from the 8th to 15th of October. The coming week has high pressure domination. Now, high pressure sat over the UK and much of Western Europe, keeping things mainly dry and fine. Into week 2, which is going to be the 15th to 22nd of October. Still high pressure influences, but just slipping a little bit to the south. Lower pressure in the Atlantic and to our northeast. Just breaking down that ridge a little bit. So this is perhaps a bit transitional. Might be starting to get a little bit more unsettled, particularly for northern areas. But in the south, probably still a lot of dry weather. And then into weeks 3 and 4, which will be the 22nd of October to the 4th of November, we find the high pressure going further southwards into southern Europe. Low pressure develops around Iceland, and in come the westerly winds. So yes, we turn more unsettled as we get into the latter stages of October and the beginning of November. The Atlantic breaks through. This is the tropical mid-latitude view, so we can't see the Arctic, North Pole, Greenland, Scandinavia. All those areas are off the chart up here, but we've had a look at that view down, so we know what's happening. Reminder of the week 1 500 millibar height anomaly. We're in the top right-hand corner of the chart. I should get it by the way. Reminder of the week 1 500 millibar height anomaly for the current week, which is going to be the 8th to 15th of October. We are dominated by high pressure this week as a large anticyclone sat over top of the country. So temperature anomalies are forecast to be above average. A warmer than average week coming up, 1 to 2 degrees above average. Although you don't have to go much further eastwards to find cooler than average temperature anomalies. They're in across many parts of Europe. Quite a cold week coming up through much of Europe. And I think, you know, as the week progresses, things will turn increasingly cool, probably. Precipitation-wise, going to be a lot of dry weather under this area of high pressure as well. Go through to week 2, which again is going to be the 15th, 22nd of October. The high pressure begins to slip southwards. Just perhaps the first hints that things are breaking down with this ridge. Temperature anomalies are around to a little bit above average, but it's not particularly warm. There's definitely a little bit of a cool down going on there, and also begin to turn a little bit more unsettled in northern and western areas in particular. I think this is like a transitional week as we go through this as we're going through this middle part of October. We're transitioning into something rather more unsettled. And then weeks 3 and 4 have the area of high pressure down across Spain, with low pressure, can't really see it, but low pressure is to our north, and in come those westerly winds. So the temperature anomaly in weeks 3 and 4 is again very close to average, not a particularly big deviation, and it is also going wetter than average. So definite indications that second half of October turns more unsettled with low pressure taking over from the Atlantic. That's how the JMA looks. Let's compare that with CFS V2. So again, these are 500 millibar heights, break it down into weekly periods. The first week period takes from the 8th to the 14th of October. The coming week is dominated by this large area of high pressure sitting over and slightly to the west of the country. It brings a lot of dry weather with it, but eventually we might start to pull in some slightly cooler air from the north and from the northeast. Week 2 is going to be the 15th to the 21st of October. Low pressure then is around Iceland. High pressure is around Spain, and winds are coming in from a westerly direction. So again, you know, kind of similar to a JMA, really breaking down that ridge very gradually. The ridge breaks down further as we go through into week 3, which is the 22nd, 28th of October. Now the ridge is down across Spain, centred across Spain, and low pressure is like to our north-northeast, is turning significantly more unsettled for the north, even in the south, probably starting turn more unsettled. It would be cooler as well. And then week 4 is the 29th of October to the 4th of November. Low pressure is properly in the ascendancy then in off the Atlantic. Strong westerly flow coming in with that. And quite a bit cooler as well. There's a bit of a mid-Atlantic ridge going on, although the block does go towards Canada more than Greenland, or the Canadian side of Greenland. But I reckon that would be turning things more unsettled and cooler. Temperature anomalies with the CFS V2 for week 1 from the 8th to 14th of October. Generally a little bit above average, particularly so in northern areas. Notice how cold it is, though, in the coming week across most parts of the continent. So a real cool down coming up. In fact, going to turn cold, if that's right. Will turn cold across most parts of Europe in the week ahead. Week 2 is going to be the 15th to 21st of October, still above average with the temperature only for us and Ireland. Most parts of continental Europe still looking colder than average there. Week 3 shows the temperature only returning to around average for Ireland and the UK, and starting to lift up over the continent. And then week 4 will be the 29th of October to the 4th of November. Very close to, or maybe slightly above average, much warmer by this point across many parts of continental Europe. Precipitation-wise, week 1, the 8th to 14th of October, is drier than average, so both was in agreement on a dry week 1. Week 2 starts to bring a change. It's 15th to 21st of October, turns wetter than average in the north, near normal precipitation in the south, implying that there is a change even in the south, something a little bit more unsettled. Week 3 is the 22nd, 28th of October, looking more unsettled, particularly for northwest, wetter than average. And then week 4, 29th of October to 4th of November, all places are on the wetter than average side. So again, definite indications that the second half of October sees much more unsettled weather setting up. So we've got pretty good agreement actually today with both of these models. They're not always that this happens, but they are sort of agreeing. So the first week is going to be dominated by high pressure. Coming week, dominated by high pressure, lots of dry weather, and starting warm, temperature coming down a little bit. There's a bit of a breakdown that takes place in week 2, particularly affecting more northern areas. The south probably hangs on to relatively drier conditions. And then weeks 3 and 4 into the second half of October and to the start of November, yes, a switch and a flip into something a lot more unsettled. They was quite warm temperatures, but I don't think it'll be excessively warm if it's unsettled weather comes off in the second half of October. I expect nearer normal temperatures then. So yeah, big change second half of the month, something a lot more unsettled and, dare I say it, autumnal. Remember, it's just a snapshot of what these models are showing today. They could all look very different next week, or they could both look very different next week when we do JMA Friday next Friday. That's just how it looks today. But any forecast beyond 5-7 days comes with big health warnings. We're going to be back shortly with your 10 to 14 day. We'll see whether there's signs of a breakdown of the high pressure with the shorter range models. But for JMA Friday for this week, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.